this?
Yeah, bud.
Oh, shit.
They're part of a shifting landscape, a grand reimagination of what it means to be a fighter and what it means to fight. Sure, it's a little unusual. Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. A pair of relative newcomers to a sport that's changing rapidly.
It's hot.
And perhaps that's exactly the point.
I'll beat your ass.
24-year-old Jake Paul started out as a social media sensation.
Clearly it works.
A lifelong disruptor.
Got your hat. Oh, let's go. Got your hat, baby.
Who turned millions of followers into an unlikely boxing career.
Meme season!
Coming to headline a pay-per-view blockbuster in only his fourth pro bout.
We gonna win big on Showtime.
Introducing the
But this new wave of boxers can be any kind of fighter. Like 39-year-old Tyron Woodley, an MMA legend, destined for Hall of Fame immortality, who would like to show Paul what a real clash looks like.
You don't take a black man hat when he ain't got a haircut.
On Sunday, August 29th in Cleveland, Ohio, these men will meet in a sport they arrived at through circuitous paths. Each desires to define themselves, and both seek to redefine a sport.
I'm making the most valuable boxer belt, and I'm giving it to myself.
Understanding that what happens next remains, at its core, a fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you, and we welcome you to the KeyBank State Theater here in Cleveland, Ohio, for the weigh-in for our big night of action coming away tomorrow night at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse here in Cleveland, brought to you by Most Valuable Promotions, Holden Productions, and Showtime Pay-Per-View. Of course, this event is headlined by the showdown between Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. We want to let you know that our pay-per-view event begins at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, and it is available on Showtime.com and the Showtime app as well. If you do want to join us there live, tickets are available starting at only $25, and you can go to rocketfieldhouse.com. At this time, I'd like to introduce some special guests who are here with us this afternoon as part of our program as well. First, from Barstool Sports, the founder, Dave Portnoy, along with Barstool Sports Book's own Dan, Big Cat Katz. And to hear from them at this time, ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to introduce to you my colleague and co-host for this afternoon, noted combat sports journalist Ariel Helwani.
Yes. Wow. Jimmy Lennon. Guys, don't be shy. Yes, this is our office right here. Boy, oh boy. Dave Portnoy. Give it up for this man, a living legend. Big Cat. I believe, guys, this is what they call worlds colliding. It's MMA boxing, but it's also me and the Barstool guys. And, of course, Barstool Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of this great event. Dave, I'll go to you first. One question. Everyone knows the rules. Did I do that right? Respect. Okay, thank you. How excited are you to be here in Cleveland in the 216 for Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley?
Well, I love Cleveland, so it's always good to be back, and I'm looking for the fight. I have no idea what's going to happen, like none, so I'm super excited for it.
Big Cat, you're the betting guy, Barstool Sportsbook. What are the lines as of right this moment?
So right now, Jake Paul to win in decision or TKO is minus 225. We have it boosted, though. I'd assume everyone here thinks Jake Paul's going to knock him out, right? So it's plus 150. Logan, his brother, has the exclusive bet on the Barstool Sportsbook app.
All right. We will get their official prediction later in this here broadcast, but for now, let us send it over to the legend, the classy one, Jimmy Lennon Jr., everyone.
Thank you, Ariel. Well, fans, we are ready to bring out our fighters for our opening attraction tomorrow night at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. This fight will be off TV starting at 7 p.m. local time. We're going to first bring our fighters out to the stage at this time. Please welcome first the undefeated southpaw from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, Juan Carlos Rubio. And we invite his opponent out to the stage at this time. He is the undefeated Cleveland native, the former Olympian Charles Conwell. And we're ready to bring our fighters to the scale at this time. We're in the super welterweight division. It is scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. First to the scale. His record is 18 wins, no losses with 9 knockouts. The undefeated Juan Carlos Rubio. £153.5, 153.5 pounds for Juan Carlos Rubio. And his opponent to the scale at this time, the 2016 U.S. Olympian undefeated Cleveland native Charles Conwell. £153 for Charles Conwell, 153 pounds. And we're going to bring our fighters together for a face-off on this. Once again, it's our opening off-television attraction. You're going to have to be there live in order to see it. Starts at 7 p.m. once again at the Rocket Mortgage Field House here in Cleveland. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, once again, 10 rounds of action. Super welterweights, Charles Conwell, Juan Carlos Rubio. All right, fans, here we go. We're going to now weigh in our fighters in our opening pay-per-view attraction featuring cruiserweights. And at this time, we invite to the stage at this time, please welcome from Alameda, California. He's an MMA veteran of 12 bouts, making his second boxing fight. Please welcome Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor. And we invite his opponent to the stage at this time, joining us all the way from Manchester, England. His record, 6 wins, no losses, 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the undefeated Tommy TNT Fury. And it looks like our fighters are ready to step onto the scale at this time. It is 4 rounds of boxing scheduled, once again in the cruiserweight division. First to the scale, the upset-minded cruiserweight, Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor. £175 for Anthony Taylor, 175. And his opponent ready to step onto the scale at this time, representing the renowned boxing family from England, making his U.S. debut. Here is the undefeated Tommy TNT Fury. Tommy Fury weighs in at 179 pounds, 179 for TNT Fury. And in the between them, we have Frank Warren from Queensberry Promotions. There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Tommy TNT Fury, Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor, opening up our pay-per-view fight. Available on Showtime.com and the Showtime app.
All right. Let me get a word here with Anthony Taylor, then we'll talk to Tommy. Anthony, pretty boy Taylor, you have been talking a lot all week long, but everyone says you are in over your head. You are too small. You are too short. Why are you going to shock the world and upset Tommy Fury tomorrow night?
Man, this is like a real Adonis Creed versus Drago type of thing, man. This is like a dream come true. I fight guys like that all the time. They don't like, that's a bum right there. That's a catfish. That's a real catfish. We're going to take him back to Love Island. Because him coming to America, he already going to know what's up.
Anthony Taylor, good luck to you tomorrow night. We'll have a quick word here with Tommy TNT Fury. Intense stare down over there, Tommy. What do you see in his eyes when he's looking up at you like that?
I see nothing. I see a scared, weak little man. He's getting knocked spark out tomorrow in front of all this lovely crowd. His head is coming off.
Tommy TNT Fury, undefeated, traveling over to the United States for the very first time to compete tomorrow night. Best of luck to you, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
All right, fans, we're ready to go. We continue with our weigh-in featuring this time 2 contenders in this battle. Scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing, brought to you by Most Valuable Promotions, Holden Productions, and Showtime Pay-Per-View. Please welcome to the stage at this time a Cleveland native undefeated southpaw contender. How about a hand for Too Pretty Montana Love? And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of Florida by way of Russia. He is the former IBF junior welterweight champion of the world, Ivan the Beast Baranchik. All right, fans, we're ready to bring them to the scale at this time. Super lightweights, 10 rounds of action scheduled. First to the scale with a fine record of 15 wins, no losses, 1 draw, and 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Cleveland's own undefeated, Too Pretty Montana Love. 140 pounds for Montana Love, and even 140 pounds. And his opponent, a world rank contender and former champion of the world, onto the scale, Ivan the Beast Baranchik. £141 for the Beast, 141 pounds. It's going to be fireworks in the ring tomorrow night. Ivan the Beast Baranchik, Too Pretty Montana Love. Pay-per-view available on Showtime.com and the Showtime app.
All right, Ivan, if I could get a quick word with you. Ivan, let me get a quick word with you. And I'll get to you right after, Montana.
No, I'm first.
I wanted to give the hometown guy the second word.
I'm first.
All right. He's from the 216. Show some love for Montana Love. What did you say to this man? It got a little intense over there. What did you say to Ivan up there?
I'm fucking him up, man. Straight up, I'm fucking him up.
This is Joe.
You hear me? No chin. He going straight out, man.
All right. Thank you very much for the time, Montana, and good luck tomorrow. What did you say to him up there?
Guys, if you want to see the real fight, I will show you. Shut up. I will show you the real fight, and I will knock him out.
Ivan Baranchik, one half of the 2020 Fight of the Year. That's going to be an incredible fight. Cleveland versus Belarus tomorrow night.
All right, fans, here we go. We're ready to bring our fighters for our next fight. It features heavyweights in a showdown. You don't want to miss this fight. Knockout artists. And it's brought to you by Most Valuable Promotions, Holden Productions, and Showtime Pay-Per-View. Now, let's bring our fighters out to the stage. First, please welcome. He is fighting out of Richmond, Virginia, by way of Italy. He's the hard-hitting heavyweight. Please welcome Giuseppe Angelo Cusumano. And we'll bring out his opponent to the stage at this time, joining us from London, England. He's a top world-ranked heavyweight making his U.S. debut, Dynamite Daniel Dubois. Let's bring our fighters to the scale at this time. Once again, heavyweights in action, scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. First joining us to the scale at this time, his record 19 wins, 3 losses, with 17 big wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the hard-hitting Giuseppe Angelo Cusumano. 235.5 pounds, 235.5 pounds for Giuseppe Angelo Cusumano. And now his opponent onto the scale at this time, ranked the top heavyweight contender. His record 16-1 with 15 big wins coming by way of knockout. The exciting heavyweight contender in his U.S. debut, Dynamite Daniel Dubois. 238 pounds for Daniel Dubois, 238 pounds. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, Dynamite Daniel Dubois, Giuseppe Angelo Cusumano, heavyweight featured attraction, 10 rounds of boxing scheduled, pay-per-view on Showtime.com and the Showtime app.
Just quick word with Giuseppe, and then we'll talk to Daniel as well. If I can just get a quick word with you. All the talk this week has been about his American TV debut, about him being the big prospect. Do you feel like you are being overlooked going into this fight?
Yes, this is a chance of a lifetime. I'm going out there and I'm giving it my all.
Looking forward to it, my friend. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Giuseppe Cusumano, everyone. Let's have a word with Dynamite Daniel Dubois, a massive, massive prospect coming over from the UK, making his American debut tomorrow night. My friend, there's a lot of talk, a lot of buzz about you being the next great heavyweight to come from the UK. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, both made their American debuts on Showtime. You're next. What does this moment mean for you?
Devastation. That's what I want to bring to this next performance. I can't wait.
We can't wait as well. Remember this name, Daniel Dubois, everyone.
All right, fans, here we go. We're ready to bring out fighters in our co-main event of the evening. It's a world championship attraction. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage at this time from Chihuahua, Mexico. She is the challenger. She currently holds the Super Bantamweight World Championship. Please welcome Yamileth Mercado. And now we bring out her opponent, the defending world champion, fighting out of Brooklyn, New York by way of Carolina, Puerto Rico. She's a 7-division world champion, currently holding the WBC, the WBO, and the IBO featherweight world championship, the one and only, the real deal, Amanda Serrano. All right, we're ready to bring our fighters onto the scale at this time. Once again, this is for the WBC, the WBO, and the IBO featherweight female world championship. The weight limit is 126 pounds even. First to the scale at this time in her 5th world title appearance. She is the challenger. She is the WBC female super bantamweight world champion, Yamileth Mercado. Yamileth Mercado weighs in at a ready 124 pounds. 124 pounds for the challenger, Yamileth Mercado. And now on to the scale at this time with a tremendous professional record of 40 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, with 30 wins coming by way of knockout. She is the defending WBC, WBO, and IBO featherweight world champion, the real deal, Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano weighs in the same as her opponent, 124 pounds, 124 for the real deal, Amanda Serrano. There they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's the co-main event. It is for the championship of the world, Amanda Serrano versus Yamileth Mercado.
Amanda, big moment for you representing Puerto Rico. If I could just have you over here. You are one of the best female fighters on the planet. You have not lost in almost a decade. You have won 26 in a row. You're winning fights in boxing and in MMA. But I know you feel sometimes you don't get the respect that you deserve. Is this the moment? Is this the fight that finally gets you the respect that you deserve?
I definitely believe so. Right now, leading up to this fight, I've got more attention, more fans, more people. I didn't know I had so many fans here in Cleveland. Here we go. But I think this is the time, and I want to thank Jake Paul, Showtime Boxing, for this opportunity, for believing in me. I've made history on Showtime, and I hope and I plan I can continue to make history here.
I wish you the best of luck. This is one of the best fighters on the planet, regardless of gender. Put some respect on Amanda Serrano's name, everyone.
Well, fans, we have a couple of special guests we'd like to hear from now. At this time, I'd like to introduce and we bring out onto the scales the official tattoo artist of the main event. She will tattoo the loser at the end of the main event. Please welcome the renowned tattoo artist, Tattoo Baby.
Tattoo Baby. Tattoo Baby, it is great to meet you. She has more Instagram followers than this entire theater combined. This is actual royalty in front of us as well. Tattoo Baby, you have been brought out here by Jake Paul, but you want to make clear you're down the middle, right? You're unbiased. You are here to tattoo the loser if it's Jake Paul or Tyron Woodley, correct?
I'm a tattoo artist. I got hired to do a job. Whoever loses this fight Be ready for me.
Now, is there a certain spot that you would like to tattoo the loser on? Is there a spot that you have picked out, or will you leave that to the loser?
If it was up to me, the heart. But I'll let them choose.
Okay, and finally, this is going to happen, if it's up to you, in the locker room immediately after the fight is over. Is that the plan?
That's the plan.
All right. Tattoo baby, everyone. Show some love for the legend. Thank you.
And now we have another special guest we'd like to hear from. Certainly he is very impartial. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a hand for social media sensation, multi-talented YouTube magnate, the Maverick, Logan Paul.
Logan, my man, it is great to meet you for the first time. I know it's your brother fighting, but this is your hometown. You guys grew up here. You came from very little, and he just sold 20,000 tickets where the Cavs play. What does this moment mean for the Paul family?
Everything. This is literally everything. Everything we've ever worked for in our lives. It's funny, I just came from the house I grew up in, and you know, we did come from humble beginnings, and you hear us talk about it, and to see it come to fruition in real life, finally, after 7 years of building, we get to bring it all home. It's a dream come true, man. I'm so proud of Jake. Cleveland, I love y'all. I love y'all. Hey, we're just getting started. We'll be back many times. First of many. Jake's going to make history on Sunday. Be there. Damn, it's going to be crazy.
And I have to ask, you've competed as well. You just went up against arguably the greatest of all time, Floyd Mayweather. More nervous to watch your brother fight than when you're in the locker room about to fight yourself?
Always. You know, he's my blood. You know, he's my kin. I love him more than anything in the world. And, you know, it's, you want him to do well. But for Floyd, you know, there were no nerves. And every time Jake fights, you know, I feel it a little bit. But I know he got it under control. He can get the job done. It's going to be good.
All right, let's get real crazy now. Let's bring back the Barstool boys here. Real worlds collide. Logan Paul, Dave Portnoy, Big Cat. Do you know this guy? Have you heard of him?
Yeah, he works with boys with him, yes.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I mean, these are all boys here. Okay, I'm sorry. I think that the moment is now. We're about to see Jake and Tyron. I don't want you to offend anyone, Dave, but can we get the official El Prez prediction?
Yeah, so I like both guys. I think Jake...
Sit on the fence. Come on.
Jake's too big for him. I think Jake knocks him out. But it is MMA versus boxing, so a lot on the line. But I just think Jake's bigger. But I'm excited. I'm excited.
Knocks him out early or late?
Earlier rather than later. I think the later it goes, it favors Woodley.
Hey, we're going to get rough and rowdy out there, right? Big Cat, your official prediction. What is it?
Uh-oh.
Oh, what's happening? What's happening?
I'm done doubting the Paul brothers. You see it right here.
What's happening, Logan?
Come on. No, come on. Come on. Come on, show me how much of a pussy I am. Hey, come on. Come show me how much of a pussy I am. You, I'm looking at you. Walk up the fucking aisle, get on stage, and show me how much of a pussy I am. Yeah, that's what I thought, bitch.
All right. Oh. Let's. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Come on. That's what I thought.
It's all good. I got your back, Logan. I got your back, just to let you know. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Big Cat, can we get your prediction as well?
I was literally just saying I don't doubt the Paul brothers anymore for shit like this. They know how to put asses in the seats. Jake Paul's probably going to knock him out. I'll say a minute and a half into the fight.
All right, and Logan, I know you're going for your bro, but how does he win Sunday night?
It's a knockout, a big right hand. It always is with Jake. No one can survive that thing. I've said it before. I'll say it again after he knocks out Tyron with his right hand, round 2 or 3. It's not going past it.
Jimmy, no respect for the chosen one here. No one's picking Tyron Woodley. We're going to find out tomorrow. But for now, we got to bring out Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley.
The week leading up to the Ben Askren fight, you know, we hear Tyron Woodley is going to be in the corner. I'm getting my hands wrapped before the fight. He comes in to check my hand wraps to make sure we're not doing anything illegal. Standard procedures. Here for some clout.
You already know I don't do them games, though.
You and Ben are gonna have a lot in common after tonight. Both got knocked out in the first round. A week prior, he had lost in the first round to Vincent Luque.
And the people that are the real day ones, they really took disrespect to them talking to somebody that really did so much in the sport of mixed martial art that way.
From there, boom. The shit talk just started. My team starts yapping.
Your shit just went down, didn't it?
He starts yapping.
I'm already Hall of Fame, bro.
And that's the moment that goes viral.
Everybody wanted to see me and him fight.
You're looking at the future of boxing.
He wanted to keep walking around acting like he had a fight. At some point, he had to fight somebody that was known for punching people.
If you're gonna shit talk, you can't be afraid of the repercussions.
I got 5 world titles. That's all I gotta say.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It'd be different if I was just like making outlandish claims. But I'm willing, ready, and able to back it up at any time, any place, anywhere.
I gotta keep reminding myself he's a child.
This is a make or break fight because this is the first dangerous, real person with knockout power that I'm going up against.
I can go after this and I can be at the top of wrestling, be at the top of mixed martial art, and now I can be at the top of boxing.
Is this crazy little kid with blonde hair just been lying to us about his skills? Is his mouth bigger than his punches? Welcome to hell, buddy.
You get knocked the fuck out.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Cleveland, Ohio, the time has come for the weigh-in for the main event of the evening, brought to you by Most Valuable Promotions, Holden Productions, and Showtime Pay-Per-View. At this time, please welcome to the stage from St. Louis, Missouri, making his boxing debut, the former MMA star and tremendous UFC welterweight champion of the world, the chosen one, Tyron Woodley. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, from Cleveland, Ohio. 3 wins, no losses, all 3 wins coming by way of knockout. The media and boxing sensation. Escorted by the drum corps, ladies and gentlemen, the problem child, Jake Paul. All right, fans, at this time we bring our fighters to the scale. It's a cruiserweight special attraction scheduled for 8 rounds of boxing. First to the scale, the 2-time All-American and Big 12 wrestling champion making his boxing debut. Please welcome the former renowned UFC welterweight champion of the world, the chosen one, Tyron Woodley. 189.5 pounds, 189.5 pounds for Tyron Woodley. And out to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, in his 4th professional bout, the renowned content creator, media sensation, and undefeated fighter. Please welcome the problem child, Jake Paul. Jake Paul weighs in at 190 pounds, even 190 pounds.
one, please. Who's a real nigga?
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's the main event of the evening. A cruiserweight showdown. Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. Live from the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse here in Cleveland, Ohio. Pay-per-view on Showtime.com and the Showtime app.
Wait here, Jake. I'll come to you second. Let me get a quick question with Tyron here, with the chosen one, with one of the greatest UFC welterweight champions of all time. This man is on the Mount Rushmore of UFC welterweight champions. You have fought in front of thousands of fans all over the world. Madison Square Garden, the Honda Center, Las Vegas, you name it. Could you tell us, before your boxing debut, what is going through your mind right now, Tyron, as you take on Jake Paul?
It's over. It's over. That's all I can think about. It's over. I'm about to go big in every level, every plane, every category. He's shaking, he quivering, and it's due he should be, because I'm about to hurt him in a way he never felt before.
Tyron.
And that's on Mama Woodley.
And that's on Mama Woodley. Jake, if I can get a quick word with you as well. What do you got there?
Just my Raising Cane's. You know, it's my lucky meal. One love. Chicken fingers. Tyron's a chicken. It makes sense.
What did you say to him up there?
I said you're dead. That was it. I tried to grab his cheeks, but...
You told me on Thursday, when you look in his eyes, you see sadness.
There you go. Some blue lights. Yo, come on. Why don't you guys let him back on?
All right. All right. It is personal between these two guys. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. Available globally via Showtime pay-per-view tomorrow night. Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. One of the greatest fighters of all time in mixed martial arts, making his pro boxing debut against the one and only, the undefeated, the problem child, Jake Paul. Jimmy Lennon, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you, Ariel. Thank you, everybody here joining us live. This concludes our official weigh-in for our big fight night coming away tomorrow night. We look forward to seeing you live here from the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. And to those of you who are joining us on live stream, we invite you to stay tuned for a wrap-up show with Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and stay tuned.
We are here. It is finally happening. We have 1 day to go before Jake Paul takes on Tyron Woodley. Nothing left to do except the fights. Hello, everyone. My name is Luke Thomas. That's Brian Campbell. The weigh-ins are now official. They're in the books. Of course, they were official this morning, Brian, but the ceremonial weigh-ins are over. We are going to have some guests that join us throughout the course of this post-weigh-in show. But first, BC, your reaction to everything that just happened.
You know, this wasn't gotcha hat per se, but it was gotcha attention. This fight has knocked on the doors of not only combat sports fans, not only the specific fans of both these guys, whether it come from an MMA side or a social influencer side, but I think it's captured the sports attention, just the viral attention, because of this is a unique event. It's going to happen on a unique night for combat sports, Sunday night, unique start time, 8 p.m. Eastern. But of this subgenre, I've been saying all week, it's still pay-per-view boxing. but it's got a little pro wrestling magic to it. It's got wild personalities. It's got all that. I think it's got, the attention of all. And the best part about it, we all agree, Jake Paul's playing a character of some sort. But that character can fight a bit. That character can fight. We've seen through 3 pro fights. Is this the fight, though, where we find out you can only act the part so much? Woodley is in play right now as a very slight underdog.
Did Jake Paul do the mind games you thought he was going to? He reached for the hat at the end there, which nearly caused a bit of a melee. Security intervened. Thank goodness nothing really happened. But at the same time, he did try. He tries to be also the kind of annoying guy eating through the food a little bit, which is always the worst thing you could possibly do. Did it work at all? You think Tyron's feeling it at all? Any part of that, now that we're all kind of official, weighing in on him?
Sometimes that's just to hype yourself up. I don't think that shook Tyron Woodley at all. In fact, we could argue, we've been sort of saying it in our coverage all week on Morning Combat, that Tyron Woodley's kind of winning this week to a certain degree from his reactions to the mental games and how, he's getting a star close-up that maybe at times, even when he was UFC champion, he wasn't getting that same potential love and respect. So I don't think it got in Tyron's head. I don't think it does something negative Saturday night. I wonder, though, if Jake Paul needed that. Let's be honest. What we know about him through 3 pro fights, 4 pro rounds against 3 non-fighters, we don't know if that's adaptable to Sunday night against Tyron Woodley. The betting odds tell you that the age difference, the size difference, Jake Paul's probably still that guy. I think what we've seen Jake Paul through 3 fights, okay, I could see him winning this fight. But we don't know better. We really don't know. I wonder if Jake Paul needed to just sort of jazz himself up to get the product placement in there, though, with the chicken. That seemed very well planned and executed there. But do you get that same feeling like maybe he just realized this is how I win. This is how I get to that next level?
Yeah, he certainly might feel that way. I have to say, through the course of this week, we were talking about this before the show went live. When you change your pick a couple times, Brian made this point, during the course of fight week, it's a good fight week. I have to tell you, I came into this one thinking, I think Jake Paul's probably going to win, and, not much controversy about it. Now I'm saying, at best, I don't know, and I'm kind of leaning maybe a little bit Tyron Woodley. Have you felt, given everything that we've seen this course of this week, media workouts and everything else, a change in your own prediction?
It's hard to change it so much because my prediction's always been so close. I mean, I'm the guy predicting ultimately. I think Jake Paul's gonna go through the hell you think. Only I think he may end up still winning it. So I'm still sort of in that bubble where anything can happen at any time. But like I sort of teased on a minute ago, I think Woodley has won by really calming a lot of. I mean, he has questions to answer too, but I think he's calmed in me some of those things that you say, okay, 39-year-old coming off 4 defeats in his own sport. Is he damaged goods right now? I think he has really hit a home run on showing us that he's dialed in. He's ready. If you think he's got more skills and experience and some of those intangibles that Jake can never really know if he has until he's in the big moments, Tyron Woodley's already got that. But yeah, he kind of won this week where
things kind of turned with the the face-off that they did with Ariel Helwani, the sit-down interview. It felt like you could see all of the veteran experience on the big show with talkative opponents and having to do media and everything else. He knew all the contours of that difficult land. I think Jake Paul was a little bit surprised by that.
Yeah, because when you throw out that level of aggression, what Jake Paul's doing in his taunting and trolling game, maybe it's not as speed aggressive as what a Conor McGregor can do, but Jake's got a little bit of game. He can set traps. He's a natural sort of guy that's going to, flip the apple cart upside down and try to change that. I think you never know which guy's not going to respond to that. I think in Jake's mind, maybe he thought coming in, I could really either scare Tyron with my craziness or just let him know that I'm for real under here and this is going to be a war. I don't think he succeeded in that because Tyron has navigated these waters so well. So I think at this point it's still more about, let me just bang that drum to make sure everybody knows we're doing this Sunday night in Cleveland. But I think he's got that attention. I think this fight has crossed over and people legitimately care for whatever it is. What it is though, Luke, do you agree? The best version, the best form of this genre in boxing that we've seen to date on paper.
I'll say this, in terms of the promotion, and we don't know until the fight actually happens, but in terms of promotion, listen, I collect a check from Showtime. There's my disclaimer. But you got to make a case to me that this fight wasn't promoted well. It was promoted well. Jake Paul knew what he was doing. Tyron Woodley knew what he was doing. And Showtime found a formula between these two, or a situation, I should say, between these two that they were able to shed some light on. It's going to be to this point, it has been the best it could be given the circumstances, but they have to deliver tomorrow. That's the key. That's where kind of Logan Paul and Floyd fell apart. All right, we have our first set of guests here. Two gentlemen that don't need much of an introduction at all. To my right is El Presidente, the head of Barstool Sports. To my left, Big Cat, pardon my take, and many other places. Gentlemen, welcome to Cleveland.
Prez, I got to jump right in here because I'm excited to chat with you.
I can tell.
But you normally like your boxing, dipped in West Virginia a little bit.
Yes.
Right?
Weren't you just in West Virginia?
You know what? Surprisingly, it's not that far off. We were in West Virginia for Rough and Rowdy. I pitched Rough and Rowdy to Showtime Sports 5 years ago. They're like, oh, it's a circus. No, purist. Look where we are now. Look where we are now.
Certainly got the last word there.
Yeah, no, it's great.
By the way, did you try, I think I saw you try some pizza here in Cleveland.
I did.
How was it?
It's not my favorite style. It's thick, floppy, but it wasn't bad. I'm lighter. I'm easier now. In my older age, I've gotten a little easier on the scoring.
Are you enjoying your time in Cleveland?
I am. I wish we'd get these cameras moved back a little. I'm a little too close. Not a great angle. But we're excited to be here. I know, Dave.
We get on a real network, and you got to tuck that in.
If you don't look bloated, then you ain't trying here. Okay, there you go.
That was stunning.
Yeah, this is a little bit disaster all the way around, but it's okay.
It's bad.
Big Cat, I want to hit you up with this because I'm just saying it.
In right now.
And they're wearing sports.
Yes. We are doing a better job at camouflaging, but we all
If I show too much package, would you let me know, please? Here's the deal. This is boxing, meaning they're going to touch gloves to professional fight, but the atmosphere is anything but. I mean, there was almost crowd participation up there of who wants to fight Logan Paul on this stage. Are you liking this kind of stuff, this pro wrestling,
I love
this
it.
craziness?
I love it. It sells tickets. People are interested in the Paul brothers. Like we said, we just came from West Virginia. The fight game, this is the fun part. Obviously, watching the matches is great. Like, watching the fights is great. But selling a fight is awesome. And that's kind of what we do day to day.
I was going to ask you, you said you're not in a position to doubt the Paul brothers anymore.
Yeah.
Sounds like you used to.
I did. I absolutely did. Because I thought, okay, what do they know? Like, you guys obviously know boxing very well. I'm a fan of boxing. Like, it's a very, very tough sport. You can't just jump into it. But they've done a good job. And they've looked good every time they've gone out there.
Are you a big believer in the Pauls?
I don't know what I am. I mean, I honestly don't, but that is the magic, more so of Jake. Like, I mean, Logan, I was at that fight, and 50-0 versus 0-1. It's like, what? But this fight in particular, it doesn't matter the sport. When someone knocks somebody out in the fashion that he has, I don't care who they're fighting, that just piques human interest. Like, does this guy have that power in his hand? So that is what it is. People are tuning in. Yeah, it's a circus and everything else, but Jake Paul, the fashion he has won, has made a must-watch. And I will give credit. I say the people picking his fights are geniuses because every fight is a step up and at the right level where you're like, I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen here. And I know there's people who believe Woodley will end this, and that's what you want. You got a guy with a lot of power and intrigue, and there hasn't been many of those fights in boxing, pure boxing, in a while.
I think you guys would agree, love him or hate him, Jake Paul's a viable, legitimate boxing pay-per-view brand. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, is he? He's definitely pay-per-view. Is he boxing? I don't know yet.
Well, he's a good athlete, and he has the money to train properly. I guess the question I would have is, and Dave and I always talk about it, once you get to a level where the opponent has the hand speed, a true boxer's hand speed is the differentiator, right? Does Woodley have that? I don't know. You guys tell me.
He's got big power. He does have the big power.
That's not hand speed. You can overcome power as long as you're not.
But if you can beat the speed with good timing.
Yeah.
So if you know what you're looking for, which you look at that counter two that he used to drop Darren Till. Granted, it's MMA, it's not boxing, but still, that's perfect timing. If he can bring that to bear, could get a little dicey.
Yeah, and it's just so impossible to tell. That's why the matchmaking is perfect, and there's no doubt he's the draw. You can't deny that. And if he keeps stepping up, eventually you figure we're going to figure this out. This could be the time. That's what makes it so interesting.
I think it's what we don't know about both that make this fight so interesting. And if I was a marketer in the Jake Paul team, I almost don't want him to prove that he's real as long as you can, because I think that brings the eyeballs. When you're that polarizing, people want to see you win just as passionately as they want to see you lose. And I think I don't know if he's good, but he's expertly navigated the road. That means he's kind of got me hooked in finding out. And I think, but that shtick though, Prez, would that play in your high school? Would he have got beaten up for this shtick?
No, not really. And as much as we're talking about it, I mean, Mike Tyson bit a guy's ear off, and Conor McGregor is the greatest mic guy of all time. Muhammad Ali is the greatest talker of all time. So what he's doing, he's just taking the internet era really with it. Right. But trash talk and selling fights, that's day one stuff in the fight business.
In a weird way, the hardest part about selling fights is being that guy, and they already were those guys.
Do you guys think Tyron's a little bit slept on? I came into this week being like, well, this is kind of the Jake Paul show, and then I watched the face-off that they did. Tyron was in control of that, man.
Well, and it also didn't help, obviously, that Ben Askren, I don't know if he wanted to be there, but you have the UFC fighter fight him, he gets knocked out, and now it's another UFC fighter, so you're like, oh, it's going to be the same thing. So to the answer to your question, yes. I think he's definitely slept on.
Do you agree?
Slept on in the sense of what he's going to do, or like I couldn't tell if you meant like just his presence.
There is something of an idea. You ask certain people in town that he's being brought in for a job. He's being brought in because he's serviceable, but he doesn't really have a chance at winning. I guess I'm saying is, how legitimate in your mind is his chance of winning?
So I was talking to Dan, and I was with UFC people well known in Miami, and they were telling me they would have bet all their money that Ben Askren is get knocked out fast. Okay. And this was 2 months ago, and they said, we'll take that same money, we'll put it all in Woodley. And I could tell the way they were looking, they were dead serious. We saw them tonight. They're like, you're crazy, we're telling you. And they say in a way that I believe them. I don't pretend to know enough about either side, but I believe that this is a legitimate fight. And we got to see, he's never been hit. Like, we got to see a guy get hit.
Yeah.
We've just
Woodley
never seen it.
Yeah.
And I think the longer it goes, gets more interesting. I think that benefits Woodley.
But how marketable could this be? Meaning, does this bubble that the Paul brothers have created of this celebrity crossover, does it burst with a Jake loss? How long can this be sustained?
I think in boxing you always get a rematch. You know what I mean? So if he loses on Sunday night, tomorrow night, he probably would get. I'd buy a rematch. But then if he lost 2 in a row, then I think you probably do a little.
Well, then you get the brother up in the bullpen. Okay, then you get Logan.
But the rematch always plays.
But Logan's lost before too. I really think he doesn't have the credibility to survive. Definitely not more than 2 losses because we haven't fought. Where a guy with a track record who's beaten a lot of guys and has a career, he can come back. But he's still unique. There's not many of these celebrity guys out there because not everyone can knock. I don't care. Listen, Nate Robinson is still a pro athlete. Askren still has it. They got knocked out cold. Not many celebrity like YouTubers can do that. So Jake Paul's not growing on trees.
We got to wrap up here for just a second, but I want to talk about you guys are the title sponsor here and the app. I checked out the app. I did download it. I have to say, yes, of course you're sitting in front of me, but I told him this before the show. That's a killer app. The Barstool Sportsbook betting app. It's in all the iOS stores and all the Android stores. How did you guys decide to make this move into that sort of territory, that vertical?
So we got bought by a casino company, Penn, and then for this fight, I've known Nikisa, I've known Jake forever. So they're like, you guys interested in the fight? People love betting on fights. It's almost as much as you go to Vegas.
Culture.
Listen, I'm wearing a Cleveland shirt. I love it, but the buzz of being in like Vegas and everyone's going around there is nothing like it. So we wanted to be a part of this fight, and everyone's gonna be betting it. And I think there's a lot of action to be had both ways because it's like 2-1 now. Yeah. And by the way, if you're listening at home, we're doing a promo where if you haven't signed up, you deposit. This is me being great pitch man right now. Yeah. Yep. You put in $10 deposit, get a free $100 Super Bowl bet. So combined sports.
Put the thing in the thing.
Put the thing in the thing.
And then make the other thing.
And for Big Cat, for the folks who have not seen the app yet, you can bet on everything related to sports,
everything. And on top of that, Logan Paul has an exclusive because he works with us.
He gave his prediction. Yeah.
So plus 150 for Jake Paul to knock out Tyron Woodley.
All right, here's the most important question. Where are you guys sitting tomorrow night?
We're on the call.
Yeah.
So you're going to be right up on the ring.
You know what? That was a dumb question. I'm going to ask.
One step forward, 3 steps back.
They're part of our team.
What do you think we're doing here? We had to pay our way to get on here.
Because I'm going to ask a dumb question, too. How many rounds is this fight?
Good question, Dan.
No more than
3. We know.
Do you have someone in your ear?
No. Actually, how many is it?
It's 8.
Okay, yeah, that's what
obviously
I knew.
Can I give a quick shout out to, please, speaking of gambling, the Nebraska kicker who missed an extra point with like a minute to go for the thing to go under, you should quit.
Yeah. So when you asked, like, how did we get into it, I didn't know if you were asking greater, the fact that we just have been gamblers our whole life, but before this, it was just a brutal loss.
The professionalism to come on the show after a loss like that.
52.5. He missed it landed on 52. He missed an extra point.
Oh, there is Logan Paul behind us.
We should have a total on how many fights.
I believe he's sliding in now, so I don't mean to boot you guys, but Logan Paul.
You can ask him about this too because he works with us as well.
Yes.
I'll ask if he's heard of you guys first.
Go get the Barstool Sports betting app. It's amazing, the Sportsbook app.
And get better cameras. This is a terrible.
I won't argue with that.
Also, the sports jackets help.
You guys, we didn't know we were doing this. No one told us.
Your tan is okay, though, I have to say.
I work hard at it.
I can tell. Enjoy Cleveland, gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it. All right, so Logan Paul is over here to this direction, and
I believe we are getting him up in the hopper
I think we're supposed to get him up in the
take
hopper.
a sit down with us. Logan Paul also will be a part of the
I feel bad
call.
about that question, but I didn't realize they were
You'll
like right on the
recover.
ring apron.
Just roll and recover.
Sorry.
Logan Paul will also be a part of the broadcast Sunday night. Him,
That's
Bellator
right.
champion AJ McKee, Brian Custer will be your hosts above the arena before throwing to that.
Let's reset for just a second. If you're watching, of course, we always encourage people to buy the pay-per-view ahead of time, not to wait until the last minute if you can. You can go to show.com, SHO.com/PPV. You can see the URL right there on the lower third. If you're interested in buying this fight, if you plan on buying this fight, no time like the present. Don't wait until the last minute, where sometimes, obviously we hope it doesn't happen, but sometimes there can be technical problems. Okay, joining us now is a gentleman who is no stranger to these kinds of bright lights, these kinds of strange scenarios. It's the brother of Jake Paul. It's Logan Paul. What's up, man?
It's all weird. It's all a strange scenario.
Logan, you
Got the
almost
Polaroid action.
I don't know if it was going to be a spin-off reality show, but you were basically offering any fan to take a shot at that chin. Got a little heated over there,
Bro,
you were offering them a shot at the title, and they didn't want one.
they didn't want it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to call someone a pussy.
Is that what he did? We were here. We had the headphones on. Is that what he did?
Yeah,
Okay.
he said you're a pussy. And look, he's not wrong. You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to call someone such a vulgar word, there are sometimes
there's protocol,
ramifications that take place. I gave him an opportunity. He had a moment, right? Like for the rest of his life. That was that dude's moment. He could have walked on stage. By the way, what was I going to do? I'm not going to fucking assault a guy. Like, and he lost. It was strictly a bluff.
I'm sure that robot, your brother's robot, would have helped out.
Smacked him up a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you know what was playing on the robot's chest?
The win by Nate Marquardt over Tyron Woodley for the UFC, or sorry, the Strikeforce welterweight
One of the most
title.
vicious knockout KOs.
Standing elbow KO, yeah.
So I'm Jake's brother, okay?
Did you know?
As we know.
Good to establish that.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what we know. I'm even impressed with the level
of troll
that this dude goes to
Yeah.
troll. Dude, he put televisions on his robot's chest.
On his jumblies.
And has Tyron Woodley getting knocked out on repeat.
His clearly worst loss. Yeah. Yeah, I posted that on social media, and even some of the fans who aren't necessarily fans of your brother, even they were like, okay, troll game A+.
He has a pet robot, dude.
People want to know though. See, I don't want to give things away. I do know. Okay, is there a man under that? Is this operated by a machine? People want to know about this robot.
As far as I know, it's a fully autonomous AI robot.
Oh wow.
I don't think that's true. Okay. Still, how are you doing? How you feeling? Good?
Yeah.
A little nervous for your brother? How do you feel one sleep away, so to say?
So far, so good. My nerves for Jake's fight usually happen when the bell rings, and they last for about 60 seconds. And then so far, Jake has usually ended the fight by then, so we're good. But, tomorrow I could see it going maybe even 2 rounds.
So you don't think it goes to, let's say, 4 or 5?
It could. I don't know.
We all said that Tyron Woodley, that this was great matchmaking because Tyron Woodley could be the guy to prove Jake's not ready for this level. Of all his opponents, this is the toughest one. Is that what you believe? Do you believe that there's a chance that Jake could have to walk through a little bit of heck to still win this fight?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing about Jake. A lot of people don't think he can do. Like, you haven't even seen peak Jake. You've seen 10% of him, right? Like, we just see him knock people out. No one's seen him take a punch. No one's seen him recover from adversity. That's the real shit he's done his whole life. You know, he is so used to doing what people say he can't. It's so funny because if you really wanted Jake Paul to lose, I would almost like cheer for him, because if you go against him, you're gonna lose. It's just the way it is. But the kid's an outlier. He's the problem child. He goes against the grain.
When he told you that this was the fight he was going to sign up for, what was your first reaction?
Big striker, tough guy. You see Tyron today. I don't know if you saw him
He's
weigh
in good
in. I
shape.
mean, you guys were here.
Yeah,
he's looking good.
Yeah,
he got a 6-pack.
Did you see the face-off he did with the show with Ariel? He did.
No, what happened?
Well, I gotta say, Tyron held his own in the trash talking away.
You know what? Yeah, I saw clips. I seen. You know, it's.
Did Jake take an L on that? You need to serve here.
So
Get the ruling out there.
I tell Jake, I'm like, pretty much anything you do is an uphill battle, at least on social media, right? Like, you come to Cleveland, you have fans that are supporting him. He walks out here, everyone in the crowd is cheering. Not everyone, but a majority of the crowd is cheering, right?
This is Jake Paul country, for sure.
Exactly. So there is a massive difference between real life and the internet. And when it comes to the internet, Jake does have a bit of an uphill battle because he is like the villain as he's painted himself. So, you know, if Tyron maintains a straight, stoic demeanor and Jake's trolling can't get under his skin, like,
maybe he came out victorious in the sit down, right? But at the end of the day, none of this shit matters.
Right.
Like
they
that,
were grading his counter shots though. They were grading the
Yeah, but his point is like, if it doesn't translate to the fight, right? What difference does it make?
Come on. I saw Daniel Cormier, a fucking UFC legend and commentator, a fight analysis expert. I saw Daniel Cormier watch Ben Askren push Jake, and that was enough for Daniel to go, Ben's going to win the fight. And we're all like, what the fuck are you talking about? That has nothing to do with anything.
Right.
Like, that's what made you think, like, people often forget about the fundamentals of the game. And it's not this. It's not the press conferences. It's not the face-to-face. It's just a fight.
Are you going to be an official cornerman for the fight tomorrow?
No, but I'll be there with this.
With the Polaroid?
That's right.
Is that like a sponsored thing?
No.
Are they making a comeback, the Polaroids?
No.
No, they're not. Just you put it out there. Yeah. So you're going to be in the locker room, and then
he's going to be on the broadcast team again.
I understand.
I want to introduce you to the people we'll be working with this week.
I understand.
Y'all got a thing going on?
We hate each other. It's really
okay. Maybe the best show in combat sports history we do together.
Right.
Anyway,
cool.
Listen, you went the distance with Floyd Mayweather.
I did it.
Showtime pay-per-view.
Here we go.
You were there?
Yeah, in Miami. Removed from it now. Hearing the good, hearing the bad, the reaction. This is a win for you, right? I mean, this is a win.
Come on, baby. I retired Floyd Mayweather. The greatest boxer of all time is on my highlight reel, bro.
How bad did he ever sting you with any of those shots? Like, was there one that was like...
There was one where I definitely was like, oh, this guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
This guy's pretty good.
His timing was pretty good, huh?
Dude, I'm not kidding. Every single clean shot that he got me with, I have no idea where it came from. To this day, I have no idea.
Have you gone back and watched the fight?
No, never.
So you just lived it and never looked back?
Nah.
Wow.
I mean, yes, yeah.
What was did you have a takeaway for your brother now that you've thought about it? Like the biggest lesson from that you could impart to him?
So we're very different, obviously. We're yin and yang. Like we are pretty much the exact same, but also polar opposites. And my revelation, I don't think would apply to the way Jake fights. His combat demeanor is not the same as mine. When I'm having fun and I'm truly just me and grounded, that's when I'm performing at my best. Jake is very serious. He is stoic. He's an angry young man. He wants to hurt people, and especially the guy across from him.
Even though this is Paul brother territory, it can go both ways, right? Some people like being in their hometown because they like the adulation of their neighbors, and some are like, that's when all the pressure is on.
Especially if you're polarizing, which both you and your brother are. I mean, you're attracting the people that want to see you lose to come by your stuff.
So how do you think it's going to go when the crowd? I think it's going to be majority cheers, but still, it's the hometown, right? Could that be a little extra pressure?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just also don't think Jake cares like about anything. Like really, you can't rattle him. You know, boos, cheers. It means nothing to us.
Do you guys do a thing where it's like my pay-per-view sold a little bit more than yours? Do you guys do that bit?
Yeah.
How do those conversations go?
I got him beat.
So far, I gotta say, you got a pretty heavy lead.
I had a little bit of a cheat code.
You have a little bit. You had only Floyd Mayweather, but nevertheless,
he helped.
All right, we can't kick you off without getting into like your future. Some people, there's a rumor that he retired after he retired Floyd, and then he retired. Are we going to see you back in this realm of I don't want to say celebrity crush? Jake's not trying to act like a celebrity. He's trying to act like a real fighter. Yeah. You fought like a real fighter. Are you coming back and doing it again?
Have to. It's the most fun thing in the world.
If Tyron wins, is he on the menu?
He's not going to win.
Okay, let's say he gets a ref intervention, and he somehow gets his hand raised. He's not on the menu.
Unable to compute, bro. I don't.
Yeah, he doesn't understand what that means, right?
I'm just trying to say.
I don't know what you're saying.
Is there any circumstance under which Tyron Woodley is a future opponent?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do you have a name in mind?
Yeah.
Can you tell us here on Showtime?
No.
I
know who it is.
Does it rhyme with Spanderson and Schmilva?
Does your opponent have facial hair? You know,
one of those.
Yeah.
20 questions.
All right. Well, I got to tell you, Logan, it's nice to see you, and we cannot wait to see your brother tomorrow. Should be a good time. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, of course, bro.
Take that picture.
Yeah.
There it is.
I look a little Cleveland this week, right? I can belong. I could have.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure, guys.
All right, guys.
As always.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Sir.
Have fun tomorrow.
Thank you.
This
nice
is a wild
backpack too, by the way.
This is a wild post show.
Right.
That's a fellow who can wear a man bag. Okay, Luke Thomas.
Yeah, he can wear a man
bag. Not you
bag.
so much. Okay?
I understand. I don't wear one out of coolness. I just wear one out of necessity because I'm old and washed.
Okay. Luke, by the way, when Logan was, ready to gift a fan with a chance of coming for the
off the top rope with one of these, yeah.
Were you nervous at all?
A little, because the crowd was kind of. I couldn't see
my
much.
Face, yeah.
Well, what happened was I could see that the kid got off his stool or the seat or whatever, and then the other members of the crowd were kind of egging him on.
Yes.
So I thought, you can't resist peer pressure, but he certainly did.
He certainly. Thank you. Thankfully, he did.
I think we have a graphic for Barstool odds. Remember, if you want, and we highly encourage you to do that, you can go and check out the Barstool Sportsbook app. It's a phenomenal app if you want to get on some of the betting action. So here is the current money line. Jake Paul, BC, a minus 200 favorite. But you've got Tyron Woodley not necessarily all that far apart at plus 165. Any of that action interest you, including the odds on the decision, plus 600 for Jake, plus 1,600 for Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, and look at that over-under on rounds. It's an 8-round, 190-pound catchweight bout. 3.5 is the over-under. And obviously this is subject to change. These are your Barstool Sportsbook odds at the moment as we speak. But not a lot of value in believing this fight will go long. Okay, it's an 8-round fight. What's your best prediction on just how many rounds we see?
On that one, since the under was for 3.5, I would take the under on that one.
I agree with you.
I'll take the under.
And I think that's a perfect setting because I think in my mind, again, I don't know who's going to win, but I feel like I believe it's going to be a brawl and it might get a little sloppy and it will be a little bit more about a fight than a boxing match. If it's more about a boxing match, I really might like everything Tyron Woodley brings to the table. But if it's more about a fight, it has that 50-50 feel.
We're going to have to see. Tyron has veteran smarts, too. He knows how to control. He knows how to wrap up. He knows how to do a lot. Again, I said it before. This is a guy who, when he backed up in the octagon, he did it strategically. He liked it when opponents came to him. Do you want to do quick predictions before we get out of here?
Yeah, look, it's a great fight week, as we mentioned earlier, when your prediction can feel like it's constantly changing the whole time. That's we've seen a lot of good stuff. The information, we've downloaded it. But what is my computer spitting out, right? Jake Paul walking through some fire, maybe having to get knocked down and get up off the canvas. But I think in round 3 he finishes Tyron Woodley. I think that combination of size, power, and youth, if used effectively, I'm not telling you Jake Paul's not a crazy character, that he's not playing a character. I'm telling you that character might be able to fight, Luke. Okay?
I think that's fair. I'm going to go with probably Jake Paul, but I got to say I find a lot of this to be very much unpredictable. All the normal variables you're able to weigh, many of them on either side of the equation don't really exist here. I do feel like everyone's kind of sleeping on Tyron a little bit, but I guess peer pressure, I'm going to go with Jake Paul. Now, I want to remind everyone, that's Brian Campbell. I'm Luke Thomas. We are the hosts of Morning Combat. You can go to youtube.com/Morning Combat. You can see all of our social there below. Give us a follow if you're so interested in Morning Combat 3 days a week. We do live shows at 11 a.m. in the East. And for tomorrow, we're going live right after the fight. So if you go on a immediate post-fight reaction, this is the best place to get it. I'll be there. BC will be there as well. Any final thoughts?
This lived up, this event, to getting that energy, that buzz. That buzz is a different flavor from what we're used to in MMA and boxing. A little pro wrestling, a little carny action thrown in there too. I can't lie though, Luke. It's fun. I am dialed in for just the atmosphere. Come Sunday night, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. I'm ready.
Buy your pay-per-views now if you're going to watch. Show.com/PPV. For Brian Campbell, I'm Luke Thomas. Nothing left to do except watch the fights. We'll see you guys there tomorrow.
Let's go. Rather die with my brothers. If it's only me left alive, I'ma suffer.
So, access?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
They're part of a shifting landscape, a grand reimagination of what it means to be a fighter and what it means to fight. Sure, it's a little unusual. Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley, a pair of relative newcomers to a sport that's changing rapidly.
It's hot.
And perhaps that's exactly the point.
I'll beat your ass.
24-year-old Jake Paul started out as a social media sensation.
Clearly it works.
A lifelong disruptor.
Got the hat. Oh, let's go. Got your hat, baby.
Who turned millions of followers into an unlikely boxing career.
Meme season!
Coming to headline a pay-per-view blockbuster in only his 4th pro bout.
We gonna win big on Showtime. Introducing the
But this new wave of boxers can be any kind of fighter. Like 39-year-old Tyron Woodley, an MMA legend. destined for Hall of Fame immortality, who would like to show Paul what a real clash looks like.
You don't take a black man hat when he ain't got a haircut.
On Sunday, August 29th in Cleveland, Ohio, these men will meet in a sport they arrived at through circuitous paths. Each desires to define themselves, and both seek to redefine a sport.
I'm making the most valuable boxer belt, and I'm giving it to myself.
Understanding that what happens next remains, at its core, a fight.
We are here at the Paul versus Woodley Open Workouts here in downtown Cleveland.
Just days out from the fight when the unbeaten Jake Paul takes on former UFC welterweight champ Tyron Woodley.
This is not an exhibition. This is a pro boxing contest.
Bigger, younger, stronger in Jake, but Tyron's got some of those things that you can't learn with Jake.
Tyron, the chosen one! You said this out loud. People are coming up to you saying, you got to knock this guy out.
This is a war to me. This is gameship.
3-0 with 3 knockouts.
The problem child, Jake!
When I beat him, there will be no excuses because he was trained by Floyd Mayweather.
This Sunday night, August 29th, only on Showtime pay-per-view.
You should expect violence.
A movie, a knockout.
I'm going out there to hurt this kid.
I'm going to turn him into a meme.
Every punch, violence.